I wanted to know what you thought of, a couple of guys' careers being so tragically cut short, like Mekhi Becton and Denzel Mims by being drafted by the Jets.
Oh, there he goes. There he goes, taking shots at the New York Jets. Why am I not surprised?
Now, careers cut short in terms of what, Jeff? Because they're both good players.
They had such promising futures, and to see all that wasted by going to play for the Jets, I think a tragedy.
Well, again, they're drafted where they're drafted. I mean, Mims, I'm surprised he fell that far, to be honest. And Mekhi Becton, you kind of knew he was going to end up going to a team that needed offensive line help anyway. So it could have been the Browns, which are worse than the Jets, and who knows beyond that.
I mean, the Browns are in better shape than the Jets are.
Yeah, but the Browns' dysfunction level is still something we haven't seen in any other sport of any other team.
Why? Because they have more talent right now than the Jets. They're in a better situation. Look at their coach. I mean, not to say the Jets' coach is any better.
We don't know what their coach is yet.
Yeah, but
he's a new coach.
That's what I'm saying. You don't even know who their coach is or what their coach is. At least we know what Adam Gase is. We do. So
right, but that could be a good thing for the Browns too. He could be a good coach, whereas Adam Gase has been consistently kind of average.
That's a lot of coaches in the NFL. All of them are practically average. Jeff, are you there? Have we lost you?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
I'm surprised you haven't spoke. I mean, you're taking shots at the New York Jets, and I knew you were going to call the show and you were going to take shots at the New York Jets. It wouldn't be a show without you. It really wouldn't. And a matter of fact, now that we have you on, the Beeve has been really taking shots at his Dallas Cowboys, which I'm very surprised because I thought the Dallas Cowboys had one of the best drafts. They were on top of my draft board as the number one team.
I don't know if they had one of the best drafts, but they certainly addressed two glaring needs that they had. Like, they needed someone to play opposite of Amari Cooper, and they got one of the best, one of the consensus three best wide receivers in the draft. That had to have made him happy. And then even after they made
it didn't make him happy.
No, it didn't.
They still got a terrific, was it safety in the second round or corner?
Corner. Trayvon Diggs was their second-round pick.
Oh, right. Trayvon Diggs. Why was I thinking Grant Delpit?
Delpit went to the Browns,
sorry.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Trayvon Diggs is a good pick. They needed corner. Those were their two biggest needs, and they addressed them in the draft. How could he be on that? Like, anything past the second round, and I don't even care, even third-rounders, you're throwing darts. That's what it is. You're throwing darts hoping to land a decent pick. That's what it is.
Well, the funny part with his argument was CeeDee Lamb is going to be a bust, and he was the worst value there, and he would have taken Xavier McKinney, was his argument.
Who did he want to take?
Xavier McKinney.
I mean, okay, well, they addressed defensive backfield in the second round. They got a terrific corner on Trayvon Diggs, who played at Alabama, who's basically on the same level as Xavier McKinney, and they got him in the second round. What was he going to get if they took Xavier McKinney in the first round, what was he going to get at wide receiver in the second round? Who was left?
Probably Denzel Mims.
No, because the Jets took him early. Who was left?
No, the Jets traded back a bunch of times. The Jets traded back a bunch of times and took him later. I think it was the 20.
The Jets traded down. The Jets traded down. They had the 49th pick. They traded down. They got a late third round draft pick, 101, which they traded to the Patriots for 2 fourths and a sixth. And the Jets traded down to the 59th, and really everybody was surprised that Denzel Mims was sitting there at 59.
I mean, it was a great pick. I like to just crap on him because it was a great pick where they got him. That was amazing. Denzel Mims is a terrific wide receiver. He's a terrific wide receiver.
I know you liked him. I know you liked him because before the draft you were talking about him.
He's a terrific player. Yeah, he's a terrific player. The wide receiver core was ridiculous in this draft. But, I mean, they got one of the best three wide receivers in this draft, and then they still ended up getting one of the three best probably cornerbacks in this draft in the second round. They weren't going to get a top three wide receiver in the second round.
And a top 10 prospect, maybe top 5 thought of to most people.
But see, this just shows you the level of intelligence of the Beef. He hates this draft, and they probably did the right thing this year. They probably did the right thing. And that just shows you his level of intelligence, that he hates doing the right thing. He hates good drafts. That's what he hates. He's so used to the Cowboys drafting trash that he hated this.
He probably ends up praising their trashy drafts.
I mean, that's what's going to go on. That's what's going to happen.
Well, what did you think about?
Even if he doesn't like CeeDee Lamb, he's going to be such a speedy burner to play opposite of Amari Cooper. It's going to be great.
What did you think about the Dallas Cowboys full draft? I know you were talking about the first 3 picks, but I thought they really landed. They got the center of the future. They brought this. I think they drafted him the 4th round, which was a steal. I think it was the 4th or 5th round.
4th round.
They stole him because everybody thought he was a late second round draft pick. I thought they did very, very well. I really do. And he keeps talking about McKinney, who fell to the New York Giants. And McKinney, he said he would have taken McKinney over CeeDee Lamb.
And I told him when we were on the phone with him earlier, if we were both GMs for our respective teams, which obviously would never happen, I would trade CeeDee Lamb for McKinney straight up. He'd probably take it too, knowing his logic.
It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, the Cowboys had a pretty good draft. They really did. I don't like the pick of Neville Gallimore. I don't think he's.
No, I wasn't crazy about that either.
But I think in the 6th round, taking Tyler Biadasz is unbelievable.
Yeah, I think Gallimore was really the only one that wasn't a value pick. I think even Bradley and those ladies, they got him too. I think in the 5th round was a really good pick. I thought he was a 2nd round grade as well.
I mean, so he can hate it all he wants because he was probably looking up Xavier McKinney or something, or he saw. I mean, CeeDee Lamb was one of the consensus. Think about this. In this wide receiver core, which is the deepest probably in the history of drafts, he got one of the consensus 3 best wide receivers, and he hates it.
Well, here's another thing. There were 14 wide receivers drafted in the first 2 rounds, which is the first time in NFL history that's ever happened.
I mean, but that's, it's a Cowboys fan. That's their level of intelligence.
Well, I'm not taking shots at the Beeve because of what he thought about CeeDee Lamb.
I am.
We all are.
I'm taking shots at the Beeve because I don't even think he knows who CeeDee Lamb is because he's never seen him play. He told me he watched clips of him. You can't watch clips and know who the guy is. You have to watch him in a real football game.
Right, but this is the problem with what most people do, right? Just most people. I mean, I kind of work in this space. I watch a ton of college football. I'll run circles around most people in college football because it's really what I spend most of my time on.
Right.
I watch a ton of games. So you get an idiot like the Beeve who lives in, and granted, I lived in the Northeast too. It's not very big for college football, right? It's not nearly as big as, the rest of the country. They don't really watch it. They kind of concentrate on pro sport. So he concentrates on watching clips. Oh, I saw a couple of clips. Well, why does he want Xavier McKinney then? I can guarantee you, wouldn't he just watch a couple of clips?
That's what he said. He watched YouTube clips, but you can't. It's just like going to a young kid and saying, "Well, I watched Barry Sanders play. Oh, I watched clips of him." How do you watch clips of somebody to know how great he is?
It's outrageous. CeeDee Lamb was literally the only player on this Oklahoma team this year. Because even, let's face it, Jalen Hurts had a great year and stuff, but Jalen Hurts freaking stinks. Jalen Hurts was terrible with Alabama that whole time when he was with them. And it was CeeDee Lamb versus everybody. And CeeDee Lamb had, he had over 100 yards receiving in every goddamn game, but he was the only option to offense. Who else was through? Jaden Hazelwood? Get out of here.
The Beeve, the problem with a lot, and I'm not even going to take shots at Cowboy fans. I'm going to take shots at a lot of NFL fans. They don't watch enough college football, so they don't know who they're drafting. Like Shenault, who got drafted by the Jaguars, who you loved, and I think that was a steal in the second round.
He was one of my guys, so I mean, I knew a lot about Laviska Shenault, and it was crazy for him to have that surgery after the season that he had because he really is a dynamic player. I mean, the comparison I would make to Laviska Shenault would probably be Anquan Bolden.
I can see that, yeah.
You really? Oh, if he's Anquan Bolden, he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, Anquan Bolden is.
No. I'm only, when I make comparisons, I'm only comparing.
No. I understand, but if you're saying that he's like Anquan Bolden was a Hall of Famer. He is a Hall of Famer, so maybe he's a borderline Hall of Famer in the future.
I mean, Laviska Shenault is really, really a terrific player.
I don't know much about him.
Before he had the core injury, he was the number 2 rated wide receiver preseason in this wide receiver class.
I never watched Colorado State play, so I can't really. I'm sorry, Colorado. I'm sorry. I really didn't watch Colorado State play this year, so I understand he played for Colorado. I thought it was Colorado State, but I didn't watch them play, so I really don't know who he is. I did watch clips of him. I watched Jerry Jeudy. I've seen CeeDee Lamb play at least 3 or 4 times this year. I know how explosive he is. He's got great hands. His game, his understanding of the game is essential of what he is as a player on the field. So I think CeeDee Lamb is an excellent player, and to me, it was either him or Jerry Jeudy. Those were the 2 top wide receivers in this year's draft, and there are a lot of good.
Don't sleep on Henry Ruggs. Do not sleep on Henry
So you're
Ruggs.
telling me the Las Vegas Raiders didn't make a mistake and not drafting Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb?
I don't think that they made a mistake. I think they're going to love Henry Ruggs.
I don't know if he's as complete of a receiver, though, as the other
I think
guys.
the speed is there.
You can love Jerry Jeudy all you want, and you would not be wrong in loving Jerry Jeudy. But who is the faster player?
No, Ruggs. Ruggs is the fastest player in this draft.
But his speed, everything, though, in comparison to judging the entire skill set of a wide receiver.
He's also a lot smaller than Jerry Jeudy.
No, I don't think he's that much smaller.
Yes, he is. He's 5 foot. He's 5'9". Jerry Jeudy's 6 foot.
No, I think in terms of strength, I'm talking about.
Overall size. Well, you can't judge a player's strength right now because they're going into the NFL. They're going to get bigger. They're going to get stronger. They're kids. Their bodies haven't even changed yet. They're not even men yet.
I mean, it's not really a big issue because Ruggs is not 5'9". Ruggs is 5'11". It's a 1-inch difference.
I know you're going to say that. Well, it says that he's 5'11". I think he's 5'9". And you watch him. Well, you saw him stand next to Jerry Jeudy.
Right. You can think he's 5'9" all you want. This is an arrow conspiracy theory.
Oh God! There he goes.
At the combine,
there he goes.
5'11".
That's fine. Kyler Murray measured at 5'11". Was he 5'11"? You were saying that he wasn't, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't he say he was 5'9"?
I think I did, and he did, and some.
And he was measured at 5'11". But you said there's no way in hell he's 5'11".
No. They listed him at 5'11" last year. That wasn't his height.
They measured him at 5'11" at the combine. They measured him at 5'11", 5'10 and a half, 5'11". You said he was 5'9", and I said you're out of your mind. Did you not say that? Are you going to deny that?
Yeah, I don't know whether I did or I didn't.
You did. And I know for a fact you did. And me and you were arguing back and forth the whole time.
And he's 5'10". And he measured at 5'10".
5'10 and 7 something, almost 5'11".
I think they rounded up where it was
5'11". That's what they rounded it up to, 5'11".
Okay, because those measurements can round up at times too, and can be. I mean, the combine measurements are pretty official for the most part, but again, different sites can still label it as such. You're not going to get that actual measurement to everything, so. Maybe we saw it in different. But
that's not my argument, and I don't care how big they are. And Ruggs is a great player. I think he's going to be a great player in this league.
He measured at 5'10.1". I doubt they just rounded up to 5'11".
That's what they said. That's what they said at the combine. He was 5'11". I'm telling you what they said.
And a hand size of 9.5 inches, which is fairly small.
Yeah, I understand that, and we know Joe Burrow's had one of the biggest hands in NFL history. I think he almost had 10 inches. His hands were almost 10 inches long. So we understand that.
But I like the Ruggs pick. I think the Ruggs pick for the Raiders is going to work just fine for what they do.
I don't know about that.
Do you see him as a number 1 option type though? Because he was never that at Alabama.
Well, that's because Jerry Jeudy was.
Of course, but I'm just saying he wasn't that at Alabama, and the type of receiver he is, because he does have that kind of size disadvantage. To some extent, even though he's not 5'9", okay, but besides Tyreek Hill, what type of receiver that's that kind of build is a number 1 receiver in this league?
Julian Edelman?
He's not that type of build. He's a quickness at the line of scrimmage type.
He's a slot receiver.
That's the position that he's going to be playing. He's probably going to be a slot guy sometimes, and he's just going to be a burner, man. He's so fast. they're just going to try to create mismatches with him.
Which can you see that being a number one type receiver, though?
Well, it can be.
Unless he's Tyreek Hill. That's the only one.
Whether you think it is or it isn't, and I get it, it's a new regime there in Oakland. But just historically, they don't even really care about height or anything. Oakland historically has just drafted the fastest guy on the planet every freaking year.
Sure, and how well have they done in the last 20 years of player development?